Now to discuss the latest on Congressman George Santos and that new terrific CBS News investigative documentary, Into Him. It's Caitlin Huey-Burns as well as Erica Brown. Caitlin is CBS News' political correspondent. Erica is a CBS News investigative producer. Let's begin, though, by taking a look at this documentary investigation. Let's hear.
He started these lies, and I think it just continued. And this was the only way that he knew how.
Later, as adults, Tiffany bumped into Santos at a Starbucks.
Guess who I ran into at Starbucks?
You know what? I ran into her.
She told him she'd settled a big case for a client, $2 million. She says Santos promptly invited her and her client to dinner.
It was this huge room with like one table in the middle. He asked for $300,000 principal investment, and he essentially said the client was not allowed to know what was being invested in at all.
She didn't like the sound of it, and her client turned down Santos's investment pitch.
And we now know that that was a Ponzi scheme.
It was all fraud. Oh, I was so outraged.
Let's begin, Caitlin, with your takeaway, and then, Eric, I want to hear yours as well, from all of this reporting. We've been following Santos, but you've been digging in together as a team with the investigative unit. What's the big picture on this congressman as he faces all of this heat?
Yeah, we have spent so much time in the district talking to as many people as we can, and particularly those who knew him well. You just heard from Tiffany Bogosian, who went to middle school with Santos and said that, he was bullied as a child, and she believes that, he was making up stories then and kind of sees a pattern of behavior that she recognizes now. But what's significant about her is that she, represented this client who came into a lot of money. Santos tried to pitch that client on investing in this now Ponzi scheme. And now we have learned that the Securities and Exchange Commission is now asking questions about that investment pitch from Santos. So that is new. But what we learned from talking to people is that he really duped everyone. People that knew him well, that were cheering for him, that wanted to see him succeed. Even those people that were close to him were frauded by him.
Erica, what about you? What's your big takeaway from all of this reporting?
Yeah, I think the big takeaway is we are still asking ourselves, who is George Santos? Although we get much closer having spoken to these people, as Caitlin mentioned, who knew him best, dating back to middle school with Tiffany Bogosian, who said that he was someone who was bullied and had some trouble fitting in school. And so he started to lie as a mechanism to try to get in with these groups. And this person that she knew in middle school is the same person that she now sees in the headlines, someone who is continuing to lie to fit in. We also spoke with Greg Morey, who was a former roommate of Congressman Santos in 2014. And Greg said that Congressman Santos, at the time, he wasn't in Congress, but that he was a very skilled liar. He was persuasive. He was manipulative, and he was someone who thrived on attention. In his words, he said that the congressman had to be the belle of the ball. And so I think one of the things that we really learned from this documentary is who the congressman was before he became a public figure, before he ran for office, beyond the headlines. We learn more about his character, and we get a little glimpse into what may have caused him to start lying.
And quickly, Caitlin, what about this new information you found about his alleged financial scheming?
That remains the biggest question, right? Erica makes a good point that we have more questions now than answers with him, and we should note that we have tried multiple times to get him to sit down with us for an interview, and he has declined. But this is where we need to follow, right? There are multiple investigations going on, federal, state, and local, and there are complaints against him with the Ethics Committee in the House. And what's interesting here is that House Republican leadership wants to just let that all play out. And what's significant, I think, is that, voters don't have a mechanism to get rid of their congressman, right? Unlike a governor or a state representative, you can recall those people. Members of Congress, you can't recall. So it really is going to depend on what these investigations yield and how leadership responds as a result of those investigations.
We're going to have to leave it there. Caitlin Huey-Burns and Erica Brown, thank you so much for your reporting and this investigation.